The saviors of the tale. Heavy metal.
Get up to rock, get up to burn, stand with the pride and burn for your desire.
Whoa. What is that sound?
It's a devil screaming.
It's an angel singing.
It is the pounding of creation's hammer upon the anvil of time.
Fucking awesome.
You know, I don't think I ever shared my love of rock and roll and heavy metal enough. Games like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear earn major brownie points with me simply for having some really damn good tracks using guitars. Hell, the entirety of the Exarch soundtrack is really damn good. But since I need more of a fix, I'm looking at Brutal Legend for this episode of Saviors of the Tale. While I think the game itself kind of fell on space a bit too much, the characters and story were otherwise top notch. Even more so than I expected. But rather than do a full-length episode, because that will take forever, I decided to travel down this path, while accidentally running over some wildlife. Hey, don't you judge me, I'm not on trial here. As always, there will be spoilers, so without further ado, let's get ready to rock.
Hailing from somewhere in the United States, weighing in at no doubt over 200 pounds of heavy metal awesomeness, he is a rocker, roadie, and master of decapitations. He is Eddie Reeves!
Eddie Riggs is the main hero of Brutal Legend, and the somewhat leader of Ironhead. He wasn't always part of this world though. He originated from Earth, serving as a roadie to a group of... these idiots.
I can fix anything, except that. Metal is dead.
You know, normally I'd be making fun of the guy who said that, but hey, if that was the face of metal, honestly, I'd be chugging cold ones.
At any rate, roadies are the guys who help set up the equipment for the band, and that's what Eddie does, making this monstrous beauty of a stage that these punks do not appreciate at all. He can also blend into the shadows, making sure no one knows he is there as he saves one of the little bastards when he tries dancing like an idiot. I'm not sure if this was seen anywhere else, but it does remind me of a dance in Psychonauts. Despite Eddie's clear irritation at these moronic assholes, the beginning does show how well of a job he does, not managing to ruin the show for the crowd, as well as having a good heart. The roadie theme is something that will be repeated throughout the game. After Eddie saves the guy, he seemingly gets killed. I do the Looney Tunes joke, but you guys get the drill by now. A demon comes and massacres the other idiots, and that's the last we ever hear of the modern world. Trust me, it wasn't that interesting to begin with. Eddie is then taken to a world of heavy metal, which is basically my version of heaven. Mostly anyway. All it needs is just soda that can double as water and not rot my teeth. It's here where Eddie's story begins as he fights his way through cult demons and meets Ophelia, instantly finding her attractive considering what kind of ass she can kick. He even offers to teach her what French kissing is, as well as doing other stuff to impress her and get out alive. Overall, he seems happy.
But I'm sure you must be longing to return to your homeland.
Things change up, however, when Eddie meets Ophelia's group and learns of the war. Lars, the leader of the group, after meeting Eddie, decides he should probably lead the group, and oddly enough, Eddie declines. Well, after he stops cheering, but then he declines, and recognizing he isn't the star of this world and shouldn't be the leader. That being said, he doesn't want to just sit back and do nothing, so Eddie decides to work under Lars to help organize things. It actually feels more like an army this way, since relying on one person to do everything isn't wise, like if the leader or most useful guy dies. Sure, Eddie was excited about being a badass leader at first, but he recognizes he isn't suitable when so many people already look up to Lars. And besides, if Lars does happen to die, the army would still have others to look up to or rely on. Which eventually happens later, but I'm getting far too ahead of myself. Eddie describes his thoughts best with this line.
What I know is how to put a crew together and how to keep it organized and how to take it on the road.
Though it's hilarious that Eddie's best job is getting the army organized, and these army battles are anything but that. And that's exactly what Eddie does, helping the leaders, in this case Lars, and eventually Lita. The two are the ones to make allies, while Eddie helps with everything else. Even the gameplay shows this, as Eddie can gain songs to play that are mostly meant to help augment the army. In the RPG, he'd probably be the bard, aiding the people with songs while kicking ass. Almost like Ricardo from Shadow Hearts from the New World. Now of course he does express disappointment in Ophelia seemingly liking Lars, but there's a reason I like this part of the romance. Neither Eddie nor Lars are jackasses. Think back to a lot of romantic comedies or games with romance leads. Even in some of my favorite movies like The Wedding Singer has that jackass to end all jackasses as the rival of sorts of the main hero so he can win the girl of his dreams. The last story also had Geralt, who does nothing in the plot except act whiny and evil for the sake of being whiny and evil. It's a frustrating element that makes me want to set those characters on fire, especially fricking Geralt. Lars, while sometimes vain in his appearance, rarely showed it and doesn't let it affect him in battle. Okay, except maybe once, but he didn't pout like a frickin' child. Hell, he went against Lita's opinions to keep Ophelia around, and risked time and men to make sure Ophelia got back to full health from being injured. While not as talented or as powerful as Eddie, he was still a damn good person, and Eddie understands all that. Granted, Eddie and Ophelia hook up anyway because, well, it's the game, what do you expect? Though it's clear she was teasing him when complimenting Lars. Also, when Ophelia was injured, Eddie naturally goes into hero mode, alone, against an army of metal spiders to get the threads he needs to have a guy use them to heal her.
I did mention this game was weird, right?
My point with that long explanation of the first third of the game was to show how selfless Eddie is, which is covered much more in side quests, but he does have his own ego and competitive nature, just never to a hostile extreme. He knows how to keep himself in check as well as try to understand others, particularly Ophelia, who was shunned by Lita due to her Blackwater traitor stuff. Plus, the best news about this romance? It gets rid of the whole will they won't they crap. Admittedly though, his excitement and plans can often be dangerous and have landed him and his team in hot water a few times. And while he seems like a character with very little flaws outside of this, his support is what also helps make him good too. Without that, yeah, he'd come across more as a Gary Stu. But everyone in this army has their own problems, and while Eddie might be trying to solve some of them, they are clearly working on other stuff. Ophelia risks her life to save others solo and trying to create weapons for that same group of ladies. Lars working hard to be a true leader, and both he and Lita are more than willing to go into battle. The chemistry between all these characters only enhances their likability. Then we get to the betrayal, and it demonstrates just how much Eddie values trust. When Lars is killed by Daviculus, Lee and Eddie begin to doubt Ophelia is on their side. This shows how even Eddie's trust has a limit, and that she keeps refusing to tell the truth and could be responsible for Lars' death. If not many more, there's no way in hell he'd support her. Still, even after they break up, we later see that he isn't completely over her. After all, Ophelia was the one to stand up for him and they formed a close bond, even if now broken. And eventually he has the resolve to kill her, thinking she is Sikoria, the main baddie. Also, yeah, her trying to kill him and everyone else, that's also kind of a pain. But then Tim Curry, I mean Daviculus, reveals a shocking twist.
The road can be a lonely place, don't you think? No, she succeeded in sending us a great wealth of secrets. Not from the future, but from our past. Through the vessel of her own child.
You see, his legendary hero of a father chased Sikoria down, but took pity on her when she found out humanity won by going into the future. If you want to know why the past is this heavy metal world for some odd reason, don't worry.
There's a simple explanation for that.
Oh, relax, there is an explanation. It just doesn't make sense by real-world logic. Anyway, his dad showed mercy, the two fell in love, and had Eddie, who even inherited his mother's shirt and a bunch of other stuff. Hence why he can transform into a demon. Unfortunately, we never get any details about Eddie's upbringing. Though it does make me wonder if she could take a human form to stay among the humans, or maybe that Eddie's dad got a job and stuff. If that's not a webcomic, someone make that a webcomic. Or if it is a webcomic, link me. And I kinda lost track here. The point of the final battle was to show Eddie's willingness to save others and realizing his mistake. He was finally prepared to end Ophelia and Daviculus until he learned the truth and it seemed like Ophelia was killed and betrayed. Factor in all that stuff with Eddie not liking bonds broken, of course he got angry. Kinda wish there was a transformation fight right there, but whatever. The demon form wasn't anything special anyway. And when realized with a chance to save Ophelia, of course he takes it. After all, in terms of bonds, Ophelia was clearly the strongest. As in the real world, well, Eddie didn't have that many friends who made him smile.
Metal is dead.
But despite Eddie sticking with his roadie credo, he kinda failed in one area. His stealth. There are people who remember him and he's made plenty of impacts with everyone in this world. There may not be a statue, but Eddie doesn't need one. I know this place doesn't have a lot of books or anything, but there is no doubt in my mind that people are going to record him for the future. And there were thousands of people who trusted Eddie with their lives in the war. Even a select few came backstage to return Eddie his tour book with their own signatures. Combine that with Lita showing him respect and the love from Ophelia, and no one will ever forget Eddie. But hey, the guy already has all they could ever want and simply wants to keep doing good in this world, whether it be from helping his friends against demons or other odd stuff. You may not recognize yourself as a hero, Eddie, but you are in fact a savior of the tale.
Decapitation!
I didn't think we were gonna make it that time.
I'm the smartest moron, and hopefully 2016 will be an even better year for this channel, and hopefully the frequency of the videos will pop up more. I mean, it's not like I have a ton of assignments or anything. Oh dear. So there are gonna be delays.
Once again, thank you very much for your continued support. As always, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't be afraid to comment either. Don't forget to share with your friends as well. If you want more action, you can check out the last episode on Shadow Hearts. Or maybe check out the last episode of Saviors of the Tale, featuring Lana from Hyrule Warriors. With college starting up again, making these episodes will get harder and harder, so more support is always appreciated. Until the next video, take care of yourself, and may 2016 try not to suck as much as last year.
Hey, thanks for saving our home. Sorry I took a shit on your head before.
What? When?
Oh, never mind.